Hi everyone! In this video, we will solve an inequality that requires simplification. Solve the inequality and write the solution in interval notation. Our inequality has a lot of fractions, and we could find a common denominator to combine all of those fractions, or we can find the lowest common denominator and get rid of all of the fractions. This little trick makes things so much easier. So the lowest common denominator between 3 and 4 is 12. And we'll take that lowest common denominator and multiply it to both sides to keep it balanced. And it'll get rid of all of the denominators. On the left side, we'll multiply it into the parentheses using the distributive property, giving us 12 times 2/3 minus 12 times 1/4 is greater than or equal to, on this side as well, we'll do the distributive, 12 times 1/3 x minus 12 times 1/4. On the left-hand side, we can simplify before we multiply. 12 divided by 3 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 12 divided by 4 is 3. 3 times 1 is 3, so minus 3 is greater than or equal to 12 divided by 3 is 4, and 4 times 1 is 4, and we still have the x, so this is 4x, and 12 divided by 4 is 3, and 3 times 1 is 3, so this is subtract 3. And now we don't have any more fractions. It's my favorite trick to get rid of all of the fractions in an equation. Now we can just simplify. 8 minus 3 is 5, is greater than or equal to 4x minus 3. To isolate the variable, we'll need to add 3 to both sides, which gives us 8 is greater than or equal to 4x. And the last step will be to isolate the x by dividing both sides by 4, making our answer, will come up here, 2 is greater than or equal to x. We have several ways of writing inequalities. We can have a lesser than, a greater than, a lesser than or equal to, and a greater than or equal to. When we're writing interval notation, if we have a lesser than or greater than sign, our interval will have the ending of parentheses. If we have lesser than or equal to or greater than or equal to, the ending of the interval will have brackets. Ours is 2 is greater than x. This means that 2 is the very largest of our interval. So we could even draw it on a number line, and that might help visualize where our interval is going. Since 2 is the greatest, as 2 is greater than all of the other x's, then, and this is or equal to, and we've done graphing these before, so we will fill it in with a solid dot, and all of the numbers less than 2 make this inequality true because 2 is greater than all of the other numbers that can be put into our inequality right here for x. Having the number line graphed helps me visualize where all of the solutions are. Since all of the solutions are this direction, it means that I continue to go more and more negative. In fact, this arrow means that it continues on forever, meaning it's going in the negative infinity direction first. All the way to the left is negative infinity. And then as we move to the right, we will hit positive 2 and end the interval. And because it's or equal to, this means I need a bracket to finish it off. So the interval from left to right, we go from negative infinity to positive 2, and we use a bracket to finish off the 2. You'll notice I didn't have a bracket or parenthesis on the negative infinity yet. I wanted to discuss that infinity continues to go on forever, so we can never actually include it. So whenever we have an infinity, we always have to use a parenthesis. So the interval notation for our inequality is negative infinity to positive 2 going from left to right, and now we're all done.